Welcome to First Issues. Your application for a loan has been denied. This being a message from a financial institution that you are seeking credit from. Upon further inquiry, you find out you have a poor credit score. For others, they may actually get the loan approved, but with higher interest rates than its standard because of the same reason. But what does it mean to have a poor or low credit score? What is a credit score? Your credit history is a report of your debt repayment. It is recorded in your credit report and details the number and types of credit accounts you have, how long each account has been opened, how much is owed, and how much of the available credit is used. Many factors contribute to a low credit score, including little or no credit history, missed payments, and past financial difficulties. While a low credit score could make it harder to get credit, you can work hard to improve it. So, if you find yourself in this predicament with a negative, a poor, or a low credit score, how do you go about fixing it? This conversation we have with financial consultant and founder of Sterling Wealth, Cathy Sibanda. Cathy, thank you so much for coming on First Issues and affording us your time. We're here today to talk about fixing your credit record or your credit history. Right? Let us understand first, what is a credit record or credit history and why is it important to have one?
Thank you so much. So a credit record is your credit record based on your payment information. So once you start getting into credit or once you start getting into debt, it means a record is going to be built based on how consistently you pay your obligations. So let me give you an example. If you go and you get, let's say a loan, if you go and get a loan from a bank and then you are paying your loan consistently, you are building a positive credit profile. But if you have a loan and maybe you pay once in a while or you pay and you keep on maybe missing other payments, then you are obviously going to have a negative credit profile. So credit record is very important because it's going to affect you in the future. If you have a negative credit profile, when financial institutions look at you, they see risk. So that means if you already have a negative credit profile, it's going to become hard for you to get credit again in the future. And in the event that you are able to get credit, then you're going to be getting that credit with very high interest rates because they're already saying, we are not sure what will happen in the future. She might start paying maybe the first year and then the second year they disappear. And then also not only about credit, but if you have a negative credit profile, it could also affect your employment opportunities. There are some jobs that for you to get, especially those that discharges financial responsibilities, for you to get those, they'll have to check your credit record. So if your credit record is raw, it's negative or it's low. So even if you have a good CV, everything is impressive, you'll not be able to get that job.
There's a little caveat here that I'd like for us to discuss, and it's that even if you don't have credit or debt with a financial institution of whatever kind, the fact that you don't have that record means there's a negative implication on you. Please explain that further and why that is. Okay,
so when it comes to credit record, we can either have a positive one, which is good, which is what we all want. We can have a negative one, which is bad. Mm-hmm. At times we find ourselves there. Mm-hmm. And then you can have a zero credit profile. So if you have a zero credit profile, we are not really sure how you are going to act, how you are going to behave once we start giving you credit. So you can have zero, and once you get credit, maybe you go towards having a negative or a positive. And then also when we look at credit profiles, I think it's important for people to understand that because we are saying this is built based on your transactional patterns, maybe people may be saying, okay, how then do people get this information? So we have people who are organizations that are referred to as credit bureaus, who financial institutions, all organizations that offer loans and installments. For example, if you go to a furniture shop, you want to get an item on credit, they're first going to check if you are credit worthy, then that's when they will decide. So all this information about you is collected and then it's sent to these organizations so that everyone in the market have the same information about you. So whether you go to a bank or you go to a furniture shop, or you go to a micro lender, they'll all be having the same information about you. So that also makes sure that we don't have information asymmetry in the market. So information asymmetry is defined as where maybe I have better information than you. Yeah. So that means if you don't have any information about me, you are likely to give me credit only to find out that maybe I can't pay, or I already owe 10 other people.
Well, really our topic of discussion today is fixing a credit record. So in cases where you find yourself, you are in the pool of people with a negative credit score, how do I go about fixing that problem?
First and foremost, you have to pay. Paying is the only thing that is going to take you out of that. And then I would also want to say, at times it can be hard to pay, but you can try to find a way to negotiate with your creditors to say, this is what I owe, and this is what I have at the moment. You know, how can we work around this to find a payment plan? Because the only thing that is going to save you is you being able to pay for that. And then the other thing also, I could say sacrifice. Let's say you owe somebody and you have an asset. You could say, let me just sacrifice, sell my asset, even if it's something that you really love, and say, let me just sacrifice, pay this, sell this asset so that I can be able to pay my debt. And then at times you can be in that circumstance because of your behavior. If you know that maybe you have a challenge with handling money, or once you get money, you get too excited, it can be also good that you seek help, sit with somebody and say, you know what, this is my challenge, or I fail to control myself, once I have money, I can't even budget. Once I see something, I tell myself I want it, and I want to get it there and there. So just make sure that also you seek help.
How long would it take though? Say, for example, that I've been in the negative pool and I've been blacklisted, and then I pay off my entire debt to my financier. Does that mean that immediately after clearing my debt, I am removed from the blacklist?
Okay, this is how it works. So if you go today and pay, normally they will take 7 to 20 days to remove you from the list, but the record still remains, right? So even if you have paid, and then 6 months down the line you go and you are asking for credit from a financial service provider, they are going to say that, okay, it's okay, you have paid, but at one point you were not able to pay. So that's why the best advice will be to say, you know what, blacklisting is bad. So make sure you avoid it as much as you can before you can get into that.